That's your
Lisa?
hotspot?
It's a hotspot. I know. Wi-Fi. How was your week?
My week was good. It was a little tiresome. I was a little tired this week.
Oh my gosh.
How are you?
I am good. I was fairly low key this week, which is kind of nice.
Again, another boring one?
Well, I mean, it's not, I guess it's not boring. I'm just getting used to my new portfolio. So like I now don't manage 100+ people. I manage like 3 people. So like my day-to-day is different. So I think like I got a ton of shit done this week, but it just feels very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the first time in like 7 years I'm not responsible for 100+ people at a time. So
I can see how it would feel very boring to you.
It does feel very boring to me, but good at the same time. So I'm not going to complain. Yeah. Not going to complain. Well, let's go ahead and we can have a moment of, we got to decide what we're calling this. What the fuck? Did that really just happen? I don't know, Med Moms. You got to tell us what we're going to call this section.
Yeah. What do you think, Med Moms? I think the Med Moms out there want to hear a what the fuck moment.
I do too. Because I think the word fuck just makes everything so much better. So,
and then sometimes if it's not really like a what the fuck moment, it could be a what the heck moment. So it can have like, varying degrees.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
So is this or we can just say, WTF for those of
us.
It
was a WTF moment, this one. So
why don't we do that? We'll keep it a little clean.
Keep it clean. So if you're in the car listening to us, then you have your kids in the car and your kids don't say fuck. And then you're like, Mom, what was that? So my moment this week is, so my husband's parents, my husband's mom lives in a nursing home, unfortunately, and my husband's dad lives at home. Yeah. And he does not know how to do technology. And so we recently set up all of his prescriptions to be sent from Optum because he's part of United Healthcare. Yeah. So we set everything up for Optum. We have set up all of his passwords. I do all of this like clerical stuff because it's jobs I can do from California to support the siblings. And no joke, every week when I log into Optum, it says I have the wrong username and password. Every week. And every week I have to go in there and reset the username and reset the password. But the challenge of it is that my father-in-law, who is 80 years old, gets the text message with this security code. So you can imagine how this goes, right? So I have to call him and say, Enrique, did you just get a security code on your phone? And he goes, yeah, I'll call you back, because he doesn't know how to toggle to the code and the phone on his iPhone. So he hangs up, he writes down the code, he calls me back. Then I type in the code. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. This week, he's not even getting the codes. I'm not getting the codes. Nobody's getting security codes, because last week when we did this, I had Johnny's cousin go over and sit there so that we could do it together. And I changed all of the phone numbers in Optum to my cell phone so that I can now get the security code, because sometimes his dad and I will do it 5 times. I'll call him and say, did you get the code? Uh-huh. I'll call you right back. Calls me back. And we do it over and over and over again. So now
that you're not managing 100 people and you're just managing 3, you have the time to do this.
All the time. Yes, all the time in the world. And so literally this time I got all the text messages about the updates around his prescription. And when I click the link in the text message to go to Optum's website, I'm locked out. Then when I go to say, send me a security code, now no one's getting a security code. There's no security code to any text messaging anywhere now. So now I have to call Optum. And I hate calling companies to deal with things like this. And I always have to put him on speakerphone, and I have to call him. Well, I have to call him on 3-way.
Because it's him, right?
Yes. And I have to say, Enrique, can you give authorization for me to talk to this company?
Do you say Enrique with the rolling R's, or you just say...
I do.
Do you just say Enrique?
Oh, I say it with the R.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I always say Enrique.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. So I might have a very, very basic question for you. Just a question. Why does he get the security codes? Why can't you get it on your phone? If you get the text messages for the updates on the meds, why can't you just get the security codes on your phone?
I updated all of that
instead of his.
week. I updated that last week.
Okay, so now you're going to get it. Okay.
Well, no, because now I'm locked out again. And now when I ask for the security code, the damn code goes nowhere. Now he's not getting it and I'm not getting it. No one's getting it now. That's my what the fuck moment. Is I thought last week I solved it by changing all phone numbers to my number.
Yeah.
And now nobody's getting the codes.
I will tell you, as a provider, I've called in, I don't know how many prescriptions to pharmacies, right?
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things I hate the most is waiting on hold for these pharmacies.
Yeah.
You know that there's a meme, when you wait on the pharmacy hold, there's like this CVS song.
Yeah.
And I call it a meme, and I don't think it's really called a meme, but it's like whatever, a reel, or I don't know what, I'm trying to be relevant here, on Instagram. And it's like what they're doing on the other end when you're on hold. And it's like some like Rasta guy on skates, and he's probably high on life, and he has the phone and he's like doing this crazy dance because of that stupid song that's on the background. You all know what I'm talking about with that hold music is crazy.
Oh my God. That is so funny.
And it's so, if I could calculate the amount of minutes that I have spent on hold for these pharmacies, I mean, I don't even know how much time I've wasted I couldn't get that time back,
Yeah.
And it's a real problem, because then you call in these prescriptions. Well, now you have to, for the controlled substances, you have to actually send an electronics prescription. So for narcotics or things like Valium, things like that, you have to actually do the prescription electronically. But even if you want to call in a friggin' Z-Pack, an antibiotic, you have to wait on hold. And
you have to wait on hold. That's
and then
crazy.
The most frustrating thing is, this is one of the crazy things that I can't stand, is when they're like, we are on lunch from 12:30 to 2. And you're like, listen, bitch, I don't take a lunch. So I'm sorry that you guys are on a lunch. I have 5 prescriptions and thousands of other things I got to do. Now I have to leave a voicemail on your friggin' thing. Because then I leave a voicemail and I'm like, did they get it? Did they not get it? And inevitably the patient's calling me saying, they didn't get my prescription. Yeah. And so then I call back. I mean, it's
exactly
for all of those people out there, give us a little grace as the provider. I'm just saying, because honestly, like, we try to get your prescriptions in a timely manner, because I don't want it on my docket either, right? I don't want the patient calling me back. I don't want you guys calling me back all the time saying, hey, where's my prescription? Hey. So trust me, we do it, we call it, and there's a black hole someplace, and CVS is notorious for this. So if you cannot do CVS and go to a mom and pop pharmacy, that's my recommendation, because at least they pick up the phone. And
totally.
I can always, I mean, it's just like, and then of course, sometimes the accents of the pharmacists, it's a very thick accent, and their names are names that I can't pronounce, and I can't even reiterate what that name is.
Yeah.
But so be patient with your providers.
That's so funny, because I'm on the flip side of it, where I'm like, oh, I cannot get through to the pharmacy myself from the daughter of the guy who needs the meds. And now Optum is saying he has diabetes. And so now we're trying to get his medication changed to Mounjaro. And now Optum is saying that they can't send me Mounjaro. So, and now I'm locked out of the damn website again. So now I called them and said, can you give me a local pharmacy that you live by? And I'm just going to call your doctor and ask them to call your prescription in there.
And that too is a pain in the ass on the provider side, because you're like, are you kidding me? Now I've got to change. I got to go into the computer. I've got to change this. And then you have 3 pharmacies on your EMR.
Yep.
And then you get the daughter calling, okay, can you do it to this one? And you're like,
I know. Exactly.
Sure. What else would you like me to do for you? Because you have 5 that are due. Can I just do all 5? No. The other one, I have to have it at the Orange County one, because he's going to be staying
that
in
is
Orange County next
exactly
week.
how we're going to end up being. I told him, I said, here's the deal.
Like, okay.
I know you like the home shipment thing. I get that is super easy for you, but this website sucks. And yes, I am not the techiest human in the world, but I have never, ever been part of a website that literally kicks me out weekly. And then I have to call somebody weekly. And I hate calling people. It's like my thing. So,
well, because the customer service now is terrible.
Oh,
anywhere you call.
Yeah, the worst. So, but what it made me think about is like, gosh, how many of our listeners are out there like totally dealing with similar things? You know, caring for parents, caring for our kids, that kind of thing. So, you know, we are at a stage in our lives where we have parents who are now need help, you know, and it's been very, very interesting as
my mom's not going to like that.
No, it's tough, dude. It's so tough. I'm telling you, it is so hard to like be the adult child of an adult parent, right? Because like, I get it.
Yeah.
Lisa, I do not want people telling me what the fuck to do. I don't want my kids telling me what to do. I don't want this, but like we are now to that point where we like have to help set all this stuff up and like get everything together and control stuff. And man, it's been a journey. That's for sure. I was thinking about it. Like, you're really lucky. Your parents are young.
You're out of state too. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. For me, my parents aren't there yet because they're young. And that was the benefit of that's one of the benefits for me. They're young, so they're still able and they're still driving. And I mean, I saw my dad today at Bugs's game, and so they're still doing all the things that they need to do. And they're pretty tech savvy. Crazily enough, my dad sends texts to Bug all the time, and
that's cute.
And now the way we communicate more so on text than we do phone calls. It's just kind of the way it is. So they're still tech savvy, but let me tell you, like, you know, even just dealing with the father-in-law and the mother-in-law, and they're older and they're out of state.
Yeah.
And hearing it's tough. It's a tough road navigating health insurance. This is not a bill, or this is a bill. And if it's not a bill, why the hell did you send it to me? Just so I can know? Like, just so I know what my insurance is not going to cover, just so I know what my doctor billed that was outrageous.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's what's so crazy about it is like, yes, I'm in healthcare, but I'm on a different side of it. Like, you see it being the provider side of things. I didn't, being bedside and then being part of a large establishment where insurance is part of like the coverage. And then now being in the startup world, I don't really deal with insurance. I've just started to kind of deal with it like on my own for stuff like prescriptions and stuff. But dealing with it for your parents when they're on Medicaid and Medicare, is tough too. Like, we're just totally trying to navigate all of the things. So, but then also trying to do it from another state has been so interesting. So it's been, especially when unfortunately he's not very tech savvy. My mom is a bit more tech savvy, but my mom is also younger, still just lives her life, you know, takes a multivitamin, thank God. But Johnny's parents, are older and have so much going on. So he literally will call me. Luckily, we've now learned how to FaceTime. So that's a huge, because like he has insulin pumps and things that I need to show him how to do. Oh, it's so crazy, dude.
My favorite is when the parents will FaceTime and you literally just see their forehead, the top of their forehead.
Is that what your parents
like
do?
For a long time?
Yeah.
No, my dad did that for a little bit. He's much better now, but
oh my God,
the in-laws do that. So she's better too. But for a long time, we just saw the top of her forehead. And
what was she doing? How could you only? Because the way she
because it was on it was an iPad. So you know the iPads, it's like the camera. It just depends on the angle that you're holding the iPad. So if you're looking at it, you know, it's a little, I don't know. Because I think sometimes they're like, well, where is, like, this is the greatest thing ever. Where is the camera? Like,
where is the camera?
It's that green. It's that green dot. Is that the green dot? Like, is it up, down? You know, things like that.
My mom
for a really long time, or then or like the lights. You know, like the lights are down and you can't. It's very ominous. It's like very spooky and scary. And you just see the forehead, and you're like, okay. No problem.
That's so funny. My mom's husband, before he passed away, his kids wanted to FaceTime him. And my mom said, we try to FaceTime on the phone, but he has dementia. So he thinks it's a phone. So his poor kids are just FaceTiming his ear the whole time. So we bought an iPad so that at least she could put it on the table and he could talk like this and his kids would see more than just his ear. So
talk about ear. I saw the picture of the ear stitches.
Oh, and?
I mean, it's impressive.
Yeah. Did he really cut it a lot?
I will text you the ear photo. It is impressive.
Wow.
I was like,
really?
Dang. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. It was so crazy. Apparently he was like, they were digging out wood particles out of my ear. And I'm like, what? How? Like he must have, I don't know. Like when you see this picture, I'm trying to figure out the mechanism of fall, but I just can't in my head.
Oh my God.
Know.
Yeah. You'll have to share it. Cause I'm so curious to see how crazy his ear was after that fall. That is crazy.
Yeah. I'll show it to you.
Oh my gosh.
I was sending it to the girls and saying, look at this. And they're like, what? It's like, I know.
No wonder he had his entire head wrapped then.
I know. Wait till you see this because you're going to be like, wow.
Oh my God. That is so crazy. Well, I started thinking about like how grateful I am that I don't have small kids during this time where we're like having, to help with Johnny's parents so much. Because we have to fly back often to care for them and juggle things like that too. And I'm like, God, could you imagine if you had little kids? I was even thinking like you with a teenager who's in sports and all these things. Like, my kids at least are of an age where I'm like, hey, I got to pop out for a weekend to go see the parents and help get grandma in a nursing home or go, set up her nursing home room or go get stuff established. And I was thinking like, there's so many med moms out there that are totally doing both, right? Like you can imagine how crazy it is.
That's one of the things too, like on this platform, I would hope that we could kind of give some sort of advocacy tips too.
Totally.
Just to try to navigate, think about what doctor that they need to see. And it's not like you have a family doc that takes care of A through Z. Now it's all specialists. So you go to your internist and then you have a cardiologist and then, you go see an ear specialist if you can't hear. And
one thing that I think is so interesting is when they don't have the same electronic medical record, it is very challenging because like my father-in-law, my sister-in-law tries to go to a lot of his appointments with him, but she can't make all of them. And he is independent and he can drive, but he's a terrible medical historian. And so he doesn't say like, oh, yep, these are my meds or this is my surgery. He's very much that generation of like, yes, doctor, no doctor, okay, doctor, right? And then we come back later and we're like, what did they do? Right. So recently he had to have a lung procedure done and they ran all these tests and like, there was like 6 tests on there that just are not included by insurance. And so then you get this surprise $2,000 bill, which was one of those things too, that I was like, I called the hospital or I called the lab where I got the bill and I said, hey, do you have his insurance? Oh, we might not have the right diagnosis codes. You got to call the doctors. Then I call the doctor's office and I say, do you have the right diagnosis codes? And then they say, yes, we do, but you have to call the billing office. Then I have to call the billing office. So I called like 7
and then you stand on hold with that same hold music on the pharmacies.
Exactly. And
100%.
You call 7 different places and everybody just points different fingers to someone else. And I ended up being like, I think we just need to pay this bill because I don't know what to do at this point. And, I've spent hours upon hours trying to figure this out. So it is so crazy. Like that's the piece where I say, aging parents are difficult and parenting your adult parent is difficult because he is a very independent man who does not want me telling him how to do things. Right. I totally get it.
And then culturally too, you add the cultural aspect in there.
Correct. Yeah. He wants to be able to take care of himself.
It is tough. It's tough. Not only, think about how tough it is for us, like just going through, billing and this. Now virtual medicine is huge and it's amazing. And I think that there's a huge place for virtual medicine and I love it.
Yes.
Because not everybody needs to come in, especially in the West Side, traffic, parking, blood pressure rises when you get in there and then you're there for 5 seconds. because the surgeon is busy and they just need to see you for 5 seconds. And then you're like, oh, great, my parking's $20 because no one validates anymore. So it's like this whole thing, And so virtual medicine was amazing. I think that came out of COVID. And I was glad that it stayed because it makes it much, much more efficient for the provider. Yeah. And for the patient too, you can multitask. You can do whatever. Oh, sure. And if you're running late an hour, you tell the person on virtual, oh, we're going to be delayed by 30 minutes. And they're like, fine, no problem. I'm doing my work. You just let me know. I'll pop on whenever you say. And it's amazing. It's great.
Yeah.
But
have you personally transitioned? Have you personally transitioned a lot of your care into virtual care? Virtual care?
No, well, no, because what I do is more person.
But like as a patient,
like one-on-one.
As a patient, have you switched?
Oh, as a patient, no, like you know what? I haven't, which is crazy.
Yeah,
yeah, no, I haven't because I think I'm there, and so I can just walk over. So all of my providers are right there, so I just walk over. No, crazily enough, I haven't, which is crazy. Weird to me. But I don't really. Well, I guess I do have providers now, but no. I mean, I can't do a virtual pap smear or a virtual mammogram. So
but there are a ton of things that you can do virtual. Yeah, like mental health has an amazing new market that's all virtual. That's been phenomenal. I've already talked about MIDI.
I think that's like increased.
Hormonal health is amazing, right? In virtual care.
Yeah. And now it's a payable code, which is great. I think it's amazing.
I mean, I personally love it. I work from home. I get a lot of my care from home, and exactly that. I can be on a meeting. I can hop out, take a virtual call with my doctor for 2 minutes, hop back to my meetings. I travel all the time, so I can get my care from anywhere, right? I can hop on a call with my nurse practitioner in LA. I can hop on them in the Bay, and you can continue to do things versus calendaring stuff. I also think like Los Angeles is such a crazy place to get around. If I don't have to drive somewhere and you can call me for parts of that, that's what I want. You know what I mean? So
like lab results or x-ray results or whatever. Like, hey, I have a quick question about my upcoming surgery.
Totally.
A pre-op visit that you don't need to actually physically examine someone. And honestly, like during COVID, we could do a fair amount of physical exam just by, I would say, can you please stand up? Can you please walk back and forth? Let me see you. Can you raise on your toes? Whatever I needed them to do. Yeah. Or if I was trying to test a muscle exam, I'd say, okay, can you go get 2 soup cans and lift to your side? And you could kind of see a little bit, what it was.
Yeah, totally.
I got very creative with my physical exams on virtual health during COVID, awesome. For sure.
Yeah.
But you could do it, you could totally do it. It works.
Yeah. When I worked for a large health system here in the Bay Area during COVID, we were actually able to add in a third person. And it was really cool because like
that's cool.
We could bring the caregiver in on the call. We could bring a daughter in on the call. We could bring someone else in on the call if permission by the patient.
We can't deny the power of touch, honestly.
Correct.
Even you come in and you're scared for whatever. I'm in a surgical practice, and you come in nervous and you come in afraid, vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing just the power of touch. You walk in and you just touch someone's shoulder or you touch their hand, and it's this unwritten type of just feel. Yeah. But I'm Hispanic, so I'm very touchy-feeling. I'm very affectionate in that way. And I don't have a problem doing that, obviously within reason. And I can read a room pretty well. So I know if someone's a little, whatever,
anxious.
I won't. Because there's a time and place. But a lot of the surgeons don't touch, and again, there's always these crazy things too. You have to be careful. If you're a male surgeon and it's a female, then all of a sudden that could be misconstrued. And then you go through that whole nonsense, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you walk and someone watches you walk, a good provider will be able to pick up, for the most part, most orthopedic issues.
Yeah.
Whether it's a knee, whether it's a hip, whether it's spinal stenosis, whether you have a drop foot. I mean, it's crazy. You just ask somebody to walk and you can get a general assessment. It's crazy.
That's funny.
I do that. I think it's like a occupational hazard when I'm at a stoplight and people are walking in front of the crosswalk. I'm like, oh, that guy needs a hip. Oh, that guy's got major spinal stenosis. Or that guy's got cord compression. It's crazy. I can sit in the corner and give out cards and be like, sir, I think you need to see this doctor. Or, ma'am, I think you need to see this doctor. That's what I should do, actually.
You
Instead
should.
of like selling my body and getting like stripper money, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to collect all like I'm going to call the front desk and I'm be like, listen, how many referrals did you get today in the last 2 hours from Santa Monica?
Pay for my referrals. Pay for my referrals. It's like standing on a corner with a sign. Exactly. I'll just diagnose and send. That's so funny. Now that I work for a group of orthopedic docs, I constantly am like, make sure I stand a little taller and my posture's a little better. And I just crack up because I'm like, it's funny how you are aware that they are aware that you are, slouching or your neck's in a weird spot or whatever's going on, So we always laugh. But yeah, interesting. I love those orthopedic guys. So we thought that we would do kind of a round out or reset for the end. And Lisa, you had some great things you wanted to chat about.
Oh, well, this is the thing is that, I think that for all of us, we all, like you said, aging parents, managing people, managing your family, managing yourself. And it can get super chaotic. It gets chaotic in my brain. And I've become a little bit more organized with my little stickies. But then there's some times where I'm like, oh my God, my, like thought spot, soft spot, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
So there's times when I'm like, oh my God, my brain's fried. And so what I feel is a great reset is just to pause, take a deep breath. And I just say 3 things that I'm grateful for. And these 3 things, honestly, it could be as ridiculous as a cup of coffee. It could be whatever. And then I do that. And then I feel reset. And then for the most part, it's okay. And then I'm like, damn, I was thankful for 4 things today. Or shoot, I really was more thankful for number 4 than I was for number 1. But
that's
regardless, is that the whole premise of it. Just take a deep breath, guys. Yep. Take a deep breath. Just say 3 things that you're grateful for. And it really actually does it. And because then it just kind of puts yourself in a little bit of a different perspective. Because a lot of things,
absolutely.
You're like, oh shit, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. Oh my God, I'm late. And oh, there's a red light and all these kinds of things. So that's my,
they always say
my
gratitude is a great reset. So that's a great way to end us tonight, Lisa. Thanks for getting us on a better mindset for the rest of the week.
Hope so. Until next time.
Until next time. Good night. We'll see you later.
Good night.
Bye, friend.
Bye.